I'm Robb Boss. This is my wife, Karen. We are currently in Orlando, Florida. We're about to go on a journey, move to Hawaii, whole different story. But my journey started when I was about 14, had a cholesteatoma in my right ear, and had a mastoidectomy at that time, so lost about 40% of my hearing then. But just being a teenager and trying to adapt and not really knowing there was any options but to deal with it. So just lived most of my life pretending like I could hear completely. So we started dating the year after I had surgery. So when we were 15, we started dating, and so I don't even know if you knew the whole story then. But over the years, just decreased in hearing over the years. I never knew it until probably about 10 years ago. We have 6 kids now, so it started hindering communication within the family, professionally, but I completely denied it and, said, I'm fine, I can hear everything. It's you guys. That's where the problem is. It's not me. So that led to, of course, just miscommunications, a lot of assumptions. So that led to a lot of problems. Over the years, since the 10-year mark is when it really started becoming an issue.
With the girls, probably.
Yeah, we have 5 girls, so they all have tones of voices that I literally couldn't hear at all in my right side anymore. And so say, okay, I need to do something, take that permanent step, which in my mind was so dramatic at the time. But now looking back after, that was 3 years ago. So now having it for 3 years, my quality of life is so dramatically changed, and just being able to talk to other patients and other different atmospheres, being able to speak to people about hearing loss, it's made me look, have an introspective look at why I do things and why maybe I act the way I act in certain situations, and why I get insecure in some areas. Because I had had multiple surgeries on my ear before, it was nothing. I mean, it was completely a breeze. And this was before the new surgical process that they're going through now. So this was back when they actually had to remove some skin. And so it was probably about a week, maybe, of really healing after the surgery. Yeah, I mean, it's an overnight thing where you can actually, you're not having to strain, so to just concentrate on what people are saying. So I think my energy level went up, and we're all made for relationships, and how do you have a relationship is through communicating with one another. So as far as family members, it was, at least on my part, it was great, but I would find myself falling into old habits of assuming still, even though I could...
You have the ability to use the same habits. Come back.
That you just fall into habits, you would think you heard something and really it wasn't what they said, and just go with it. So those are some things that I still have to process through and am overcoming just personally. Those are traits that are hard to break. But as far as professionally, it was like night and day, just being able to be in a lunchroom, with a crowd, and actually be able to hear somebody speaking without having to crane my neck around and trying to, listen on one side. So, yeah.
The biggest thing, I think, is the exhaustion. And we didn't realize, I don't think, that part of that was stemming from straining to hear in different situations. Definitely relationally. When he decided to have the surgery, I think I was most impressed with his decision to do it, not being a selfish reason. He could have chosen to do a hearing aid, possibly, or a Baja before that, if given the option, but it stemmed from wanting better relationships with his daughters and with me. And finally, a few things happening, different situations where he thought, this isn't acceptable anymore. You know, I want to be able to relate better, so.
I would say that I would do it over every day. You know, the procedure, whatever, I would do it over and over again because the quality of life is so dramatically different. Yeah, I wouldn't even hesitate, knowing now, you know, knowing what I know now. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, it would be, this is a no-brainer. Yeah. So I know there's probably people out there that are apprehensive, like I was. Probably people that had pride issues that I had. You know, you just don't want to draw attention to yourself, or you don't want to look different. But it's really been cool to have conversations with people that are bold enough to come up and say, what is that? You know, so you get to explain, you get to say, you know, this is technology that's available, and probably 8 out of 10 times people go, well, you know, my mom can't hear on one side, and maybe they should talk to their doctor. You know, so it starts conversations that you would have never had before, and just expose there's hope for people that can't hear, that there's something available.